welcome to Do It Like Dana. Today I'm going to show you guys what I think is most important to have in your kitchen to cook with. First I'm going to start with the chef's knife. All of you might not be able to afford a good chef's knife. I happen to go to culinary school and got one. This is the most important for cutting. Cutting all your vegetables, fruits, anything. Next is a cutting board. You do not want to ever cut on top of a surface. You'll always scratch or nick or who knows what else, so you always want to make sure you have a cutting board. Next is measuring cups. I like the big glass 2-cup measuring cup. Listed on it is pints, cups. On the back is milliliters and whatnot. Very important that everything is clearly leveled, and when you are measuring, you set it on a level surface and make sure it's equal to the lines. Here's a plastic 1-cup one that's also easy to use. The next thing that you want to get is a tablespoon set, teaspoon set. You have tablespoon, teaspoon, half teaspoon, and quarter teaspoon. These are the most common measurements used in any sort of recipe. And unless it calls for just a pinch of salt or something to taste, you're always going to want to use your measuring spoons. Next is a cheese grater. You can use this to grate any sort of vegetable, carrots, potatoes, onions, anything like that for something like meatloaf or lamb. And cheese. Who doesn't like grated cheese? My favorite appliances in all the kitchen are heat-proof spatulas. These are the most universal things. You can stir anything you want with them up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really, really, really hot. And you can scrape the inside of bowls when you're baking. Slotted spoon is always very important, so anytime you need to grab something out of the liquid without the liquid, all the liquid drains to the bottom. Very important. Wooden spoon for stirring. It's always good to have wooden or the spatulas, because if you use anything on your pots and pans that is metal or a hard ceramic, you're going to scratch your pans, and that is not good. It'll release whatever the metals are into your food. Thermometer. Most important thing for when you're cooking meat. You always need to check your internal temperatures, because if you don't, people can get really sick. Baster is really important. Anytime you're cooking any sort of meat in the oven, you can get the liquid from the bottom of the pan, cover the top of it. You can also use it to get all the liquid out to make a gravy. Strainer or a colander for any sort of pasta or vegetables that you need to get out. Anything, actually, that you need to strain. You need to strain a lot of things usually. This is an 8x11 pan, any sort of version of this, 13x9, 8x11, I guess 7x10 would be the next size down. Anything like this works for casseroles, lasagnas, baking, any sort of like cobbler or anything like that. It's always nice to have the clear too, just because then you can see how great it looks. Saucepan, very important for 1 portion of pasta. You can put water in here, let it boil, and put your 1 portion of pasta. If you're cooking sauces, soups, anything with liquid, this is the perfect pan. Next is a saute pan. This you're going to use for pan frying or sauteing anything. You can even make gravies or some sort of glaze in this type of pan. Last but not least is a hand towel, so you can grab hot things out of the oven, grab the edges of a pan so you don't burn your hands. Thanks for watching Do It Like Dana. This is what I think is most important. If you use any other utensils, feel free to let me know.